loves his brake van towed.
Sir Topham Hatt's engines love being shiny and
Loves owning Annie and Clarabelle.
makes them feel cheerful as they puff across the island of Sodor.
And everyone loves their work. Gordon loves owning the express. Ruby loves his favorite coach, Henrietta. Duck loves going up and down the branch. She won't want the dirtiest work to do.
But he likes to be clean as well as any other.
Duck often has the dirtiest work to do, too.
It is summer holiday time on the island of Sodor. Vacationers come from far and wide to enjoy the beauty of the island. It is the busiest time of the year for Sir Topham Hatt's engines. Thomas was excited. Sir Topham Hatt had sent him to pick up a special to deliver to Dryaw Airfield. To Percy. But Sir Topham Hatt had bad news. Due to a water shortage, he said, no engine shall have more than one washdown a day. Usefulness before cleanliness, he added, and left. Percy was upset. I get dirty, he complained. I need washdowns. Gordon only does it to feel important.
I am important, sniffed Gordon.
I'm an express engine. You're a pouty puffer, Percy, teased James. No, I'm not, wheezed Percy, and he chuffed away. Percy was loading freight cars at the docks. He was trying extra hard to stay clean, but the troublesome trucks were being naughty. As Percy pushed them under the coal chute, they sang out. On, they cried. Percy found himself under the chute, and coal dust flew everywhere. Oh no, coughed Percy. I'm filthy. Percy felt awful, but he knew he had to carry on. Station, the troublesome trucks teased Percy even more. Clickety-clack, don't look back, dirty Percy's on our track. Be quiet, Percy snapped.
Shut up, said Percy.
When Percy arrived at Callan Station, he was very upset. From now on, I am only doing work where I won't get dirty.
No, I don't.
Harold the helicopter was at Callan Station picking up medical supplies.
Hello,
Percy,
said
called.
Harold.
And he took off blowing cinders and ashes everywhere.
Not again, gasped Percy.
I want a washdown. Usefulness before cleanliness, reminded his driver. I want to be useful where I can't get dirty, Percy huffed. There's a load of sugar going to the chocolate factory, his driver said. We could take the sugar cars. Sugar, said Percy. That's nice and clean. Percy was pleased. Percy didn't know that earlier a leaky freight car had spilled oil on the track. When he approached the chocolate factory, his driver applied the brakes. But Percy's wheels just skidded on the oily rails. Oh no, hooted Percy.
Watch out, shouted Percy.
I've never been this dirty. He was covered from funnel to firebox in sticky, gooey chocolate.
Duck was. Percy was clean again.
What have you got there? Tooted Percy. A balloon, replied Thomas. A party balloon? Asked Percy excitedly. No, said Thomas. This is a very special balloon. And he chuffed away. Soon Thomas arrived at the airfield.
See, Tiger Moth and Birdie was there too.
And hot air was puffed into the balloon. What is that? Huffed James. A hot air balloon, said Thomas. It will take vacationers on rides around the island. Taking vacationers on rides around the island is our job, wheezed James jealously. Then, as if by magic, the hot air balloon rose silently up into the sky. What if the hot air balloon takes our passengers away? Chuffed James. What will happen to us then? This made Thomas worry. Suddenly, he wasn't so excited about the balloon. The balloon could be seen by everyone on the island of Sodor. Duck gazed at it for so long, he ran into the back of Stepney. Why, it's a floating basket with folks in it, said Donald. Whatever will they dream up next, said Douglas.
And Douglas were speaking to each other.
One day, George the steamroller, waiting for Percy to take him to a new workplace. George was being rude to Rheneas and Skarloey. One taken to some yards to work. Arrived with a train of empty freight cars. George was blocking his way, and a car was stuck on the main line. Let me through, demanded Duck. You'll just have to wait, replied George. There's no time to wait. I must clear my freight cars from the main line to let Gordon through. Then he'll have to wait too, said George. Duck's driver went to complain to the station master, but the signalman had set the signal to allow Gordon to speed through. His passengers were singing his praises, and he was making express time. I'm the greatest!
Just let me drive by.
He whistled long and loud as he approached the station. Suddenly, he saw a freight car on the line ahead. Get out of my way!
The freight car won't move
until Gordon forced it. By accident. James and Thomas were waiting at the level crossing. They were still worried about the hot air balloon. If it takes our passengers away, chuffed Thomas, there'll be no use for us engines. Passengers should travel on trains, huffed James, not in silly balloons. Then something big and round and red drifted straight towards them. We're out of hot air! Shouted a voice. Ah! Cried James. What's happening? Crash, bang, wallop with the balloon and landed right on top of James. He was so scared, he let out a huge burst of steam, which blew the balloon up again. The balloon rose into the air once more. Well done, James, called his driver.
Your own hot air
did the trick.
trick.
Oh, no, James, cried Thomas. You saved the hot air balloon. I didn't mean to, groaned James. Now it's sure to take our passengers. Wherever James went, he could see the balloon carrying vacationers across the island. He felt he should be taking those passengers. Rails are better than hot air any day. James arrived back at the station. There were lots of people on the platform. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting too. Well done, James.
Which was there.
But now the passengers will ride in the hot air balloon. Sir Topham Hatt laughed. You're right, James, he said. But they will need a ride home in a train. James was delighted.
He was delighted too.
Sir Topham Hatt was right. The engines were busier than ever, taking vacationers to and from the airfield. Whenever James sees the red balloon, he whistles and toots. And sometimes when he's asleep at night, James dreams he can fly too. Just like the red balloon.